Guys, in this video I'll explain what bearing is. Bearing can be seen as just an angle, that is a special angle which is usually measured from the North Pole in a clockwise direction. If you look at the board, we are told that the bearing of B from A is 80 degrees. Recall, bearing is usually represented using three digits, or we call it three figures. Okay, here we are told to find the bearing of A from B. Before I start, I'm going to represent the North Pole. The North Pole is just usually the vertical here. Are you getting it? This is point A and this is point B. Okay, since the bearing is calculated, then we are trying to take the distance from A to B. We are told the bearing of B from A is 80 degrees. I have to underline this from A because this means that we'll start measuring the angle from the north arrow of point A, and the angle in question is angle 80 degrees. So recall that bearing is just the angle formed from a clockwise direction from the North Pole. Okay, so the angle there is 80 degrees, so you have it as 80 degrees. Okay, then the question says find the bearing of A from B. As we have now gotten the angle to be 80 degrees, since it is the bearing of B from A. But the question now is requiring us to find the bearing of A from B. So our bearing will be basically in the point B. And for us to get there, we have to locate the North Pole and move a clockwise direction till we meet the path of what? Traveling from A and B. Okay, and that particular angle is what we need, which is theta. If you are good at parallel lines, corresponding angles, then this question is simple. If I decide to extend this particular line up to this extent, so if this particular angle is 80 degrees, that means this particular angle should also be 80 degrees. Since this line is a straight line, you know that angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. Angle on a straight line. So since we are moving from a clockwise direction from the North Pole, then the distance, the angle marked is from this North Pole, I see my marker, then plus 80 degrees, and then the whole 180 till you get to this point. And that is 180 degrees, which is the angle on this straight line, plus the initial 80 degrees that have moved, plus 80 degrees. And when you add 180 degrees to 80 degrees, you have it to be 260 degrees. So the bearing of A from B is what? 260 degrees. This is the bearing of A from B. Are you getting it now? You see that the bearing of B from A is 80 degrees, and the bearing of A from B is 260 degrees. So exciting. I want you to try the bearing of C from D. Drop the answer in the comments.